going to be working on the spine today and looking at mainly flexion. So taking our spine into a stretch position, really going to try and open up through our low back, and also, well, all the way down our back, and working on a little bit of rotation as well. So we're going to start today in an easy pose. So we're going to sit cross-legged if that's comfy for you. Please make sure you always change the cross of your legs so you're not always sitting in the same cross, okay? And obviously any knee pain, you're just not going to sit like this, and a block is always an option as well. Okay, so we're going to focus on magnets onto our sit bones today. So the bottom of our pelvis, try and think about really rooting that down into the floor. And then every time you inhale, you're going to really reach up and create your spine as long as you can. And exhale, slide the shoulders down the back. Morning Faye, morning Susie. And closing your eyes, morning Hannah. Just inhaling. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. Beginning to be aware of your body. Maybe you slept a bit funny and your neck's a bit tight, or, you know, so give your shoulder a couple of circles if it needs it, or give yourself a bit of a head roll from side to side. So whatever you feel like you need when you take those inhales and those exhales, just move the body. Try not to focus on anything with your eye gaze. So I just want you to be really present about your own feelings here. So, you know, you might just take away that visual stimulation of the screen or me, and really sort of focus on yourself. So maybe your ankle feels a bit stiff this morning, so, you know, just take your hands and give it a rub. So we're anywhere that needs that extra bit of love, we call it this morning, since we are in the month of love for Valentine's. And one more inhale and exhale. So inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out through the nose. Okay, and begin to move your fingers and thumbs over each other. So you're bringing in some touch and being aware of how that feels. And then flats of the hands together. So palms together, and we're going to add a little bit of friction as we start to rub our hands together. Now we want to create some heat. Okay, so go a little bit quicker, push a little bit harder, and feel that really nice heat through your palms, waking up through our body. And that area that may feel a little bit like it needs a bit of love, that could be anywhere, or if you feel fine, you're going to place your hands over your eyes. So if your ankle's feeling a bit iffy, just put both hands onto your ankle. If you're feeling good, just going to place those warm hands onto your face, covering your eyes. So you choose wherever you want to place your hands. One inhale, one exhale. And again, we're bringing those hands back. We're going to create that heat by rubbing those palms together, starting to wake up through our bodies. Really rub them together, feeling the shoulders, feeling the arms, but more importantly, feeling that breath. And as we're working on the spine today, I'm going to take my hands around and place them on my low back. So feel that warmth wherever you're placing your hands, just radiating through your body. And we're going to do that one last time. So bring the hands together and rub. Okay, so you know what's coming this time. So while you're rubbing, think about that part of your body you're going to choose this time. So rub and rub and rub. And this time I'm going to choose my chest. I'm placing my hands on my chest and almost giving myself a little bit of self-love. And it is okay to have those days where you feel a bit blue, and this type of thing can really help. Now take your hands away and roll over onto your back. Your feet are going to be nice and wide, really nice wide feet. And take your arms out to a nice T shape, so out to the side, and begin to roll the legs. So one way and then the other way. Just rolling those legs over and over, feeling a little rotation into the spine and mobility into the hips. So see if you can feel the ankle roll onto the inside when you come over. Adjust the feet position if you wish. And you're trying to sort of inhale as you come up to the top and exhale as you roll over, but don't get too focused on the breath. Just feel that movement there. One more, and then hugging your knees into your chest. So you're really going to start to bring some openness into the back of the spine, pulling those knees in, hugging them as tight as feels comfortable for you, supporting the legs with the hands, and having that little rock from side to side is always really nice. Holding the knees still, and then sort of trying to lift your tailbone up slightly here. So lifting up and down. So it's almost like you're trying to push your low back into the back, into the mat more and more as you lift. Then from that position, we're going to roll all the way over through knees and step to the front of your mat. You're going to have a shoulder width stance and bending your knees heavily if you need to, and holding onto your elbows and let your head hang. So stretch for your tailbone pushing up to the ceiling. We're not overstretching the backs of the legs. Okay, so I'm more worried about what's happening with the length through the spine. So really feel like you're really taking away all that compression by taking yourself into that inversion. So upside down, and then maybe if it feels okay, you have a little rock from side to side. So feel the shoulders, feel the arms, almost imagine that they're really heavy and they're being pulled down towards the earth. Holding stillness if that's better for you. And then hands are going to come down onto the floor or onto your ankles, so wherever you can reach. And you're going to bring your feet to hip distance apart now. So that's usually about a fist's distance between the ankles. And then tucking your tailbone, squeeze your tummy muscles up and start to squeeze your bottom together. And we're going to roll up really slowly, really slowly, really slowly. Trying to scoop in to the low part of the back, really working on that curl all the way up. And then inhale, reach the arms up high to the sky. Interlink the fingers, push the fingers away from you. Squeeze, tuck under through your tailbone and look up. Now we're going to do 2 rounds of sun salute A here. So exhale and fold forward. So we're looking for a straight back. I'm going to heavily bend my knees, let my chest come down. And then inhaling into a flat back position. So my bottom's high, my fingers may be on the floor, they may be on my ankles. Then hands flat, step back with one leg. Step back with the second leg, either to your plank or your knees down. Keeping the elbows over the wrists, we're going to lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes. Inhale as we come up into cobra. So try and push the feet down onto the mat. Think about that lovely extension through the spine. Exhale, come down, tuck your toes. You either come up through your knees or you're going to push straight up and find your down dog. So first down dog of the day, we're going to hold this just for a little bit. Tread those heels, tread into the backs of the knees, push the hips from side to side. Not here for too long. And then you're going to walk your feet to the front of your mat again. You're going to find that flat back position. So bottom up. Exhale, fold. So chest to thighs with a bent knee if you need it. And then inhale, reach all the way up. I'm going to repeat that once more. Exhale, sweep the arms wide. Down into that forward fold. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, if you stepped back with one leg, you're going to choose the opposite leg this time. So step back, either finding your plank or your knees down. Try and let your weight come forward so your elbows are over your wrists. Lower yourself down, untuck your toes. Inhale as you squeeze the glutes, push the tops of the feet into the mat. Look forwards, try not to look up. Then either through your knees or you just flip over, depending on your strength and ability, and also how you're feeling this morning. Maneuver your way back to that down dog. Walking out through the feet again. Trying to remember which leg you stepped forwards with last time, and then changing it this time. So walking forwards to the front of your mat. Letting the head hang. And then we lift into that flat back position. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up into that extended mountain again. Now I'm going to do one fold to take myself back to a 4-point tabletop. And from here, we're going to work on our cat-cow. So try and really think about moving the whole spine. So forwards, backwards, up and down, using the glutes, using the core to really initiate that tuck. So it's going to be exhale as you round up and inhale, looking forwards. So keep that movement going, just working at your own pace, your own breath, maybe holding one a bit longer if you need that stretch in a designated area. Then walk your knees back further away from you so that your feet are sort of at the back end of your mat. And take yourself down onto your front. Extend the arms out in front of you if that feels comfortable. Otherwise, just keep the hands by the ears or by the shoulders. And we're just going to reach one leg up. So I'm going to bend one leg and reach it up, place it down, bend the other leg, reach it up, place it down. So bend the leg, reach and place. And the other leg, bend and reach and place it down. Then take the hands, if you haven't got them there already, by the sides of the face and come up into Sphinx pose. So I'm just up onto my elbows are underneath my shoulders, and we're going to repeat that leg push. So lifting that leg into extension, keep squeezing, trying to pull the shoulders away. One more each side. Just working on a little bit of strength through the posterior chain there. And then push through your hands. Take yourself all the way to the back of your mat for me. all the way to the back of your mat and find child's pose. So stretch those fingers away, sink your heels towards your bottom. Letting your tailbone sink lower and lower. And maneuvering your way up to a seated position, because I need to demonstrate this next one for you. Now I'm going to do this quite quickly so I don't take too long to explain. But you're either going to do this with me or you'll stick to your cat-cow again. So I'm right at the edge of my mat. My hands are down. I'm going to lift my bottom up. Okay, so I'm coming onto my knees and I'm going to try and tuck and roll. Okay, so move my hands forwards. So lift my knees, tuck and roll. So you are actually moving along your mat. So have a go if you want to. Try not to overthink it. So just imagine you're a little caterpillar as you roll along your mat. Have a little go. And if it doesn't work for you and it takes you out your headspace because you're too busy trying to concentrate on what you're doing, just find child's pose, breathe, okay, and maybe find that cat-cow again. So I'm going to do one more journey. Bottom high, exhale, rolling through. Tucking those knees, exhale, and roll. Tucking and roll. When you've finished, take yourself through so you're in your staff pose. Sit on a block if you need it. And I'm actually going to lift up through my bottom cheeks and pull them behind me. Okay, so I'm going to take the fleshy part of my bottom and pull it behind. So I'm actually sat onto my pelvis. Okay, so you're going to feel the knobbly bits there. And then use a block if you need to. Sometimes having a bolster behind you can help you to not sink as well. So you've got something to actually lean against. And then pushing the feet away. So flexing the feet, trying to get the knee creases down into the mat, engaging through the thighs, and we're going to inhale as we reach up. So if your legs don't go straight, I'd rather you keep your spine straight and have a bend into your knees. Looking up to the fingers. Now, keeping that really big height here, I want you to lift up and come forward. So into a good stretch. Now, you're really going to make sure that you don't put pressure onto the low back here. So you're not just going to hang into it. If you're tight already and your knees are bent, we're going to be in the seated forward fold. Okay, and you're going to come forwards and just try and push your sternum forwards, and you're going to hug your knees like this. Okay, otherwise take the hands down. You're going to send your tailbone back and you're walking forwards. Try and think about your sternum touching your toes rather than your sternum touching your thighs. So we're reaching up to go forwards. Good stuff. Then from there, we have two options. We're either going to go over into the plow, which is bringing our legs over behind us, or you're going to take your knees to chest. Now, I will just show you the option with the bolster. So in our plow, we take our feet over. Hang on. Just get this into the right position. And you can use the bolster just to help you, okay? You may even want to just come up a little bit. Otherwise, you might just want to bring your knees into your chest. If you can, you'll take your feet over and you can reach around and hold your feet. Okay, try and have your toes so they're on the mat. We have absolutely zero pressure onto the back of the head here.
And we're scooping in through our tummy muscles and sending that tailbone high behind us. Then slowly with control, so you can keep the hands where they are, and then rolling back down nice and slowly, really using the tummy muscles, trying to slowly come down to the mat. As slow as you can, as slow as you can. Don't worry if you get that bump. And then everyone's going to bring their knees in. Have a little rock from side to side. And then bringing your feet to the mat. We're going to be wider with our feet. So our knees are sort of about level with our shoulders. And rolling your spine up again. So we're going to really roll up into that bridge position. Okay, so tucking and rolling, pushing your hips up to the ceiling, and then rolling back down. So trying to control that spine, really mobilizing and lubricating every single vertebrae in there, and then up we go again. So curling up, squeezing the glutes, sending your knees away from you, and all the way back down. One more, curling up. Now you're either going to roll this down and finish with the knees to chest, otherwise fingers in, and you're going to push up, open the chest, shuffle the shoulders under, and tuck your tailbone under, and push up and open through the front body. Release the hands, roll down. Bring your knees into your chest. So if you haven't come to this position, you're going to be doing that now. Bringing your knees into your chest, rolling from side to side. I've got a wide knee position here, wide knees. I'm going to reach through the gap and find my ankles. If you're able to, you're going to hold on to the sides of your feet. Now I'm aiming to keep my tailbone down on the floor here. This is the pose after this is the one that may be useful to have a strap for. Then I'm going to reach my feet up to the ceiling, trying my best to keep my tailbone down. So this isn't the spinal stretch, this is for your hips. And my feet is almost like they're on the ceiling. I'm sending my knees into my armpits. So don't worry if you've got hold of your shins or your ankles or your trouser legs. Okay, wherever you can reach. Now, your choice for the next one is to bring 2 fingers around each big toe and then straightening the legs. So we open and straighten. We're trying to keep our shoulders so they're nice and flat onto the floor, and you're going to get into those inner thighs. This is where a strap might be useful. Obviously, it's quite a challenge because the legs are so wide, so you sort of need to open the legs on the strap. Just getting right into those inner thighs, try and make sure the pelvis is square. Now, don't worry if this transition doesn't work for you. So you're going to bring the legs up, cross the legs over at the ankles, and then roll yourself up to a seated position. And then the foot that's on top, we're going to hook it over. Sit bones sat down into the floor. The underneath leg can come straight if it needs to. And then we're going to rotate around and look over our shoulder. So keep both sit bones on the mat. Try and grow tall rather than hunching over. Just keeping both feet flexed. And use the back hand to sort of push down onto the mat to help you push up with this. So feel a nice stretch down the side of the leg into the glutes as we rotate, holding this for a little bit longer.
then uncurling, and we're going to cross the legs the other way. So lean backwards, take the legs apart, do exactly the same thing. So we tuck and we wrap. Use the hands, help them get there. And remember, I said you can have that bottom leg long if you want to. So try and adjust yourself so you're onto your sit bones. Both feet flexed, and then exhale to rotate round. Just pushing through those fingers, opening up through the spine, bringing that lovely rotation in there. And our glutes have a lot to say about our backs. So if we have really, really tight glutes, it can really affect how our spine is able to do its job. So we always want to have strong and mobile hips. Coming around. And then from there, see if you can roll yourself back. I'm going to give you a little bit of a challenge. So you're going to keep those legs tightly crossed and see if you can roll yourself back using your strength to keep your knees in and rolling yourself back and just giving those legs a little bit of a hug in here. So if this doesn't work for you, just change the leg position. So what I've done is I've grabbed hold of my ankles, so I'm now into shoelace. Okay, so I've squeezed my inner thighs together, really getting into the sides of the glutes. And then windmill those legs around the other way, so crossing them over, sliding the hands down to the ankles, or wherever you can reach, into that shoelace on the other side. So even if you're hugging onto the shin or even hugging onto the back of the knee, you know, as long as you can feel the stretch, don't worry about what your legs are doing. Now, exactly like we did on the other side, release the hands and just see if you can hold those legs there with your tummy muscles just for a few seconds before we let those legs come down, and knees to chest if you need it. Otherwise, we're into our Shavasana. So absolutely fantastic. So good to practice with you this morning and move. Such a good start to the day. So letting your body relax, however your feet want to be. Maybe your knees are bent. Maybe even choose to lay on your front. There's no rules. You make the rules. It's your body. You make the rules. Never ever matters what anyone else is doing. That's what I love about these sessions, is we just concentrate solely on ourselves. See if you can gently close the eyes. Really work on that belly breathing. And inflate into the ribs, inflate into the chest. And then the way we started, we're going to finish again. So bring those hands together, maybe above your chest, maybe above your face, and rub them together. So let's awaken our bodies, give ourselves some energy as we create that friction and that warmth through our hands. Feel that lovely heat, and then pop them over your face this time. Just blacken your eyes. One inhale, one exhale, and click end meeting if you wish, and do that again as many times as you feel you want to. Otherwise, rolling yourself over to your right hand side and bringing yourself up to a seated position. I'm going to reach those arms all the way out and up. And the lovely heat we've brought through our hands, bring it down to your heart. And we can say namaste to each and every one of us. And thank you for your practice this morning. Have a really lovely day. And please, please, please just message me on the Facebook page, put any comments on there. Let me know what you want to work on. And I'll always plan it in.